Live from the 607, it's the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour, where we're talking everything going on in the world of sports. Join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag ODPH, because here we go.
Instead of looking deep inside, every word I have to say, keep it simple, stupid.
Welcome to an all-new edition of the ODPH podcast. My name is Kenem. Joining me in studio, as always, you know him, he's the co-host. His name is Padawan J.
Let me talk to you.
And thank you so much for joining us this week. It means the absolute world to us. We have got a lot of things going on, so the intro is going to be a little short and sweet this week. For anything that is the podcast of the parlay of topics, you can find it at odphpodcast.com. If you're looking for the new destination of comics pop culture, that's fanlightzone.com. Make sure you're subscribed up to everything because we got a lot of things going on, and we have to recap an episode that is shaking up the foundation of pop culture.
Holy smokes.
It has re-energized the Marvel universe of the cinematic style. And it has been one that we've been waiting with bated breath to see how they were going to pull this off. So we have to recap the latest episode of what, Pad?
Daredevil Born Again, Season 2, Episode 6.
Yes, so the return to Hell's Kitchen on Disney Plus has been nothing short of fantastic. Charlie Cox reprising his role as the one and only Matt Murdock, the conflicted vigilante that has been patrolling the streets of Hell's Kitchen, has had a very tough time with the mayor of New York City. That is one Wilson Fisk, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, whose character has been dominating and running the city like a dictator, and really not making it comfortable for any vigilantes or anyone that wants to stand in his way. The resistance is, though, co-led by one Karen Page, played by Deborah Ann Woll, and an unexpected ally, which I refuse to say he is going to be part of some redemption story, and that is the one and only Bullseye, played by Wilson Bethel. So this week's episode had a lot going on because of the ramifications of last week's episode were fully clarified, and there has been a lot of moving and shaking going on in the world of Daredevil. So that being said, if you're new to the show, first and foremost, thank you for checking us out. It means the absolute world to us. Leave a review on your favorite podcatcher. I'm told it helps the algorithm. Allegedly. So we want to make sure with all the directories we're on, we make sure we're getting out to everybody. What we like to do is give you a spoiler-free statement of what we're going to be discussing. And after that statement, we'll give you a countdown. And you have to be like the Clash. Do you stay or do you go? If you choose to stay, awesome, because we like to talk spoilers. We like to take deep dives. We give opinions. We really get into the meat and potatoes of the situation. If you're like, wait, I haven't heard the episode yet, I don't want anything spoiled, no worries. Pad puts in the liner notes when this segment kicks in. So we don't ruin anything for you. Here, a spoiler-free statement. We go from there. And then when you watch the episode, well, download the episode, jump in at that point in the conversation, hit us up after on social media, and we keep that conversation rolling. So that being said, Pad, a lot of things happened in episode 6 entitled Requiem. Give me your spoiler-free statement about that episode.
Highly anticipated this episode because let's not forget, end of episode 5, Vanessa died, to which I went, oh crap, because Wilson Fisk on his own is a dangerous character. He's a dangerous individual. And I would say, and I don't feel I'm wrong in saying this, Vanessa is the only thing holding the leash, I guess you could say, or the only thing kind of keeping him from, going through with his worst thoughts and his worst, dreams, I guess you could say, with what he wants to do to his enemies. That barrier is now gone. So that episode ended the way it did, and I went, oh, this ain't good. And it ended up playing out into this episode where I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a lot of expectations with it. And it met and exceeded those expectations. The acting was tremendous. The action was phenomenal. And I'm now understanding, I believe it was with Brandon Davis, that some of the folks, I know Charlie Cox was one, and then somebody else, I can't remember who, said that they were really excited for fans to see the last 2 episodes of this season. We're at that cusp. 7 and 8 are coming next week and the week after, respectively. And I'm like, okay, if this is what we've led to, the last 2 episodes are going to be bonkers, and I cannot wait to see it.
Well, I agree with you. They need to live up to expectation. This was an episode that we're all waiting to see, and I feel that with who they brought back for it, they lived up to it. I like the storyline that they brought said person back with. So there was a lot of things happening that really, it felt very impactful.
Yes.
Like we finally got somewhere with this. Because after last week's episode, well, there was a lot, and I'm not saying last week's episode was bad. Mm-hmm. But last week's episode entitled The Grand Design, which we did not get a chance to talk to on here, it really did not live up to expectations per se, because it was more or less a recap. It was a nice piece with Foggy.
Yep.
And it did what it needed to do, but I'm not saying it was the end-all, be-all.
I got to give credit to Charlie Cox, though, for that episode, just because he was acting in basically like season 1, and I'm talking season 1 on Netflix.
Yeah.
Daredevil, which was like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have gone back and rewatched that first season, because he so effortlessly, say that 10 times fast, slipped back into that kind of role and mannerisms of early Daredevil so just wonderfully.
Well, the one thing you have to remember is, like, this is riding a bike for him and most of the cast.
Sure.
They played so many seasons of this character, respectively, like their characters, I should say, that, it's second nature to go back to that level, and especially with seeing the return of Foggy Nelson on the show for that little brief glimpse of time for now, which is not a spoiler. That's just my own opinion, unabashed opinion.
Yeah.
To see them reconnect in that manner, I thought it played great. And then anytime Eldon Henson's on screen with Charlie Cox, he does, there's magic. So it made a lot of sense to dip back into it. But I feel that episode 5 was, I don't want to say filler, but it was a nice gateway episode to get from point A to point B. Yeah. Like, I don't think it was anything substantial. I don't think it really shook up the internet as much as this one did. Mm-hmm. This one definitely left an impact because it opens the door on a lot of different avenues. How it ends, that's a very interesting stopping point. Yeah. So we'll have to dive into that. But overall, I think that it lived up to the hype of what we were expecting, and I'm waiting to see where we go from here. Yeah. So that being said, Pad, in 3, 2, 1, give me your spoiler talk here. We got a lot to decide.
Like I said, thought this episode, episode 6, Requiem, was absolutely tremendous, phenomenal. Was super excited to see certain characters come back. Can't imagine where the hell this is going to go for episodes 7 and 8. But as for this one, 5 stars, 10 out of 10, like whatever metric you want to use to score this, absolutely perfect.
See, this was damn good. I will say this. I hate giving perfect scores.
Sure.
Because I didn't leave this going, wow, and like I need a pause. Like when I read a comic and I give it a 10 out of 10, it knocks me down and like I need a moment to recover. Yeah. This one, because certain characters were teased, it was great seeing them. Yeah. But I wasn't like, wow.
It was kind of like a worst kept secret at this point.
Well, it's kind of like what we talked to in a segment nobody will ever hear concerning wrestling and Paige coming back to WWE. Right. That, had that spoil or that announcement not been spoiled. Yeah. When she walked out on stage, it would have had that much more of an impact.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel if they kept Kristen Ritter's return as Jessica Jones under wraps and just had her come out instead of announcing it at New York Comic Con, which is fine. Yeah, like I'm not mad about that. But then again, before the episode comes out, and Marvel has been doing this lately, Marvel TV. Yeah. And I don't like this where you announce something a couple days before trying to boost the rating. Yeah. I understand why. I don't like it though, because I don't think it was needed. We all knew this character was coming. It was a matter of when. If you do the math, there's 3 episodes left, including this one. Mm-hmm. You knew they were showing up at some point. Yep. But they wanted to pop the rating, and it made sense because of where the storyline is going, because where we jump in, Wilson Fisk is processing the death of Vanessa.
Processing's one word for it.
Well, he has to deal with the fact that he's technically responsible for it. Yep. Because when he picked up the ornament that was at his charity boxing event and Bullseye, it got smashed. Yep. That's what caused her head to bleed open and eventually kill her. Yep. So he's processing this. The surgeon, which, for the life of me. What kind of nonsense was it? I did not like how this character was.
Great bedside manners. I'd hate to see them perform their duty when it comes to medical stuff.
Yeah, this was just cringy.
It was bizarre.
It was cringy. Like I say, this is why I don't give it a 10. And you might say, oh, well, it's just a minor scene. No. This took up time to build into where Fisk ultimately kills him by doing his classic bear hug from the comics. I wasn't mad about that.
Oh, yeah.
But everything about this lead-in with the surgeon.
See, thing with the surgeon, he had a chance to live.
Yeah.
There was one decisive moment he made where as soon as he made that move, I sit there watching, I'm like, well, he's a dead man.
Oh, yeah. Like, you tell it.
He put his hand on Fisk.
Yeah.
Fisk, if he wouldn't have put his arm on his hand on his shoulder, would have made it out probably alive.
The fact that he was so desperate about giving him a hug.
Oh, Lord.
I was just like, what are we doing here?
Boy.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, what kind of surgeon?
Decisions were made.
Yeah. And he ultimately paid the price because he got the bear hug from Doom.
Uh-huh.
You know, like I say. So when that happens, it's game over.
Yep.
So obviously Fisk is not exactly in a social move.
No.
And what he decides to do is he knows Matt Murdock's coming after him as his weakest point. So he instructs his militia, the AVTF, to start moving weapons.
Yep.
Which is not exactly the smartest move.
Nope.
Especially when we have the mysterious Mr. Charles,
Uh-huh.
played by Matthew Lillard, that we still have not really got a grasp of what his character is doing.
I got a hunch.
Well, break it down.
I got a hunch, and I can't take full credit for... Because I saw this online, and I just went, oh, this just makes way too much sense. Especially for the methods he's going about and just kind of the way he is acting and kind of what it appears his end goal is. I think he's Henry Gyrich.
See, that would be interesting. That would be an interesting take for him.
Of course, if you're not familiar, Henry Gyrich was in X-Men the Animated Series, also made an appearance in X-Men 97. Does not like mutants, does not like the X-Men, does not like superheroes. So if there's anybody who's going to be really behind Wilson Fisk and his anti-vigilante, anti-superhero methods, well, that'd be a good one.
I could see that.
Also, I saw a photo of Henry from one of the live-action movies, and then also from what Matthew Lillard looks like in this. There's a little bit of resemblance.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. If they want to somehow segue it into the X-Men eventually coming in, that will make a little more sense. I mean, Gyrich, during his heyday in the 80s and 90s, crossed a lot of superhero paths. So it's not out of the realm of thought. It is an interesting theory. But I think with how connected he is with Val, I don't know necessarily if that would fly. But we'll see. It's not a bad theory. I'm not going to debunk it. But we do know, obviously, when weapons are getting moved, that's not sitting well with him.
Nope.
And he decides to go and do something a little left field. Because, obviously, he knows that if he's getting his money moved, he's got to do something in retaliation. And, Pat, who does he go and pay a midnight visit to?
That would be the governor of New York.
Yes. So you go see Governor McCaffrey. And obviously, McCaffrey is not exactly a fan of Wilson Fisk.
Feeling pressure from all sides.
No, Lily Taylor plays Governor McCaffrey. Definitely was not happy to get the visit, but she was happy about the possibility of taking down Wilson Fisk.
Yep.
So that has now opened a little more political espionage going on, which it suits this Mr. Charles.
Sure.
So we'll have to kind of wait to see how his character develops, but now the moves are being taken to take Fisk out. But Fisk is not done with this because he decides to go send his AVTF to go pay a house call in the suburbs. And they wind up sneaking around a very quiet house.
Yep.
A young girl is playing in her living room.
Looks like in pajamas.
Yep. And somebody throws in a detonation device. Yeah. So all the while you hear a voice say, "Mom will be right back." And somebody is kicking the crap out of everybody outside. Yeah. In very violent fashion, and then comes back in to see said device and disables it. And Pat, who is that?
One, Kristen Ritter, a.k.a. Jessica Jones.
Yes, so we now see the return of one of the Defenders, Jessica Jones, with her daughter, Danielle, from her union with Luke Cage, because they haven't explained where they are in their relationship at this stage. So we do see that's going on, and that's enough to get Jessica to go pay Matt a visit.
Yep.
Because obviously we get the story about how Fisk was trying to recruit her, and when it was turned down, well, that just didn't fly with Fisk.
Well, and plus, I think it was mentioned at one point from Jones to Murdoch that Murdoch told Jones she wouldn't be involved in this.
Yeah.
And, well, now she's involved.
Well, the problem is that Fisk is going after everybody.
True.
And he knows who's part of the Defenders, so let's not forget this. So
it's kind of a worst-kept secret.
yeah, so he obviously has to go take care of some business. So this now leads to Jessica visiting Matt. They have the rooftop talk.
Yep.
And they decide to go take out where the weapons are. So all these, expensive weaponry is now a target itself. All the while, we have Mr. Daniel Blake, who's now caught in a web of intrigue of his own because
That's one way to put it.
yeah, well, I try to give it a little more flavor to it because his story is just the sad puppy dog.
Yep.
That he is so infatuated with BB Urich that he can't see straight, and it's now causing mistakes to be happened.
He wants the love. He wants the power. He wants the cake. He wants to eat it too. Can't do it.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, his story is so cliche.
Yeah.
That, trying to give something, a little something, special to it. This is where he's arguably trying to get something. And obviously Fisk's right-hand man, Cashman, knows something's up.
Mm-hmm.
And he is now playing a couple games of his own.
Yep.
Because he's now trying to expose that BB is the one behind the smear campaign against Fisk. He tells Daniel, hey, you need to go tell her this. It's a lie.
I think everybody knows that it's BB behind the smear campaign. It's just nobody wants to admit it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's like the worst kept secret at this point.
Yeah, so they kind of have a very unique scenario taking place as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also this weird sequence involving a certain psychiatrist named Heather Glenn, or therapist, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And Margarita Livia has been dealing with some, post-traumatic issues going on after the attack from Muse.
Yep.
And in this very, odd scenario, at least this came across to me, I don't know about you.
No, it was odd.
She is trying to imitate Muse and tries strangling Cashman.
Yep.
And it's kind of a very, very odd scenario. Cashman is encouraging it, by the way.
A little awkward.
It is, which this tends me to think that by the time it's all said and done, Glenn is going to become Muse.
Could be.
Which is a weird thing, and Pat, I'm just going to describe it as reasons. But that's where I think her character is going, because it's just how she was, so caught up in the moment and trying to have that control factor over Cat. Like I say, it's a bizarre scene.
100%.
So that's where I think that's going. So Cashman has definitely got some directions moving forward for him.
Mm-hmm.
They do go back, though, to deal with Karen Page, who has a wounded Bullseye handcuffed to a gurney.
Yep.
And she is ready to kill him.
Yeah.
So proving once again, if Frank Castle needs a successor, I think it's going to be Karen Page until Bullseye kills her.
I mean, listen,
she's
got my endorsement.
Listen, I said it. Like, she's going to go out the way of Guardian Devil. Mark the tape. But she is ready to pull the gun out, has it by his head. Dax is sitting there saying, pull it. Like,
he's like, he knows she won't.
Yeah, he knows. And Matt Murdock comes in saving the day.
Mm-hmm.
And they get into a fight, and Karen brings up some ethical questions.
Did she lie, though?
Well, that's the whole thing. It's an ethics question.
Sure.
Which that's where they go with a lot of Daredevil's choices, because it's his moral compass of his faith and trusting the system and all that. And Karen brings up valid points. Like, listen, you don't take out the people you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Bullseye should have been killed. Then Foggy would have lived. Fisk should have been killed. Then other people would have lived.
Yeah.
And Matt is saying it's not your place to play God with this, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
So they get into a very heated argument. And it leads into, him coming to terms with his actions. And this is something that's vintage Daredevil.
Yeah.
So I feel as though, well, kind of have to wait to see how this ultimately goes, but it steers him in the direction of going to confront Fisk.
Yep.
Because during this time, too, we have a protest taking place outside City Hall.
Uh-huh.
And this is where the grand spectacle is happening.
Yep.
The protesters are there. Everybody has Daredevil masks on.
Well, yeah, because at one point during this, I think it's when BB's talking to her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Fisk's right-hand guy.
Oh, Daniel.
Daniel, that, like, yeah, people are sympathetic towards what's going on with Fisk and losing his wife, but the support's not universal. That he has his detractors, and, well, they're here.
Well, they showed up. They had a whole viral presentation, so to speak, because they knew exactly what they were doing.
Yep.
They were projecting the prisoners of the Red Hook facility onto the City Hall walls. It was kind of like if you're locally here in the 607, it was like Luma.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
Yeah, so we understood that scenario very, very well. But if not, they were projecting the victims on there, and they were all telling their stories. So Fisk was getting a lot of anti-public sentiment towards him, no matter what BB was doing, even though the BB did have a little resolution that she's now been exposed as being the person behind the leaks, and cons her way to save herself because she fakes that she's going to kiss Blake, and you know, that whole scenario.
Yeah.
But ultimately it goes back to City Hall. Murdoch is visiting Fisk, who's now down in the basement.
Is in his bunker.
Yeah, he's in his bunker with the painting of the snow. And Murdoch confronts him and says, like, you know, we both need to leave New York. Yeah. And because he's like, we're going to keep doing this till one of us is dead. And Fisk is saying, I'm not going anywhere. And it leads into a brawl for the ages.
Yep.
Very back and forth. Kudos to Matt Murdock using a Kenny Omega V trigger.
I noticed that. That was good.
Made my AEW fandom smile. And they start going at it. And like I said, that was the knockout blow. So but ultimately, Matt does what he does. He beat the crap out of him and walks away. Doesn't finish the job.
Yep.
All the while, though, we have the informant for the AVTF, the one that's been feeding Matt Murdock information. Well, he got exposed.
Yep.
He got his burn notice, and so Officer Saunders was killed by Lead Officer Powell.
In front of the other AVTF task force members, to which one of the other ones went, what the hell?
Yeah.
And the leader goes, shame, vigilante got him.
Yeah. So they're trying to set up that to frame the vigilantes.
Yep.
And this causes everything to go nuts.
Yep.
In this scenario. So obviously the AVTF is fighting every civilian that's protesting. It leads to Karen Page getting her identity exposed.
Her costume knocked off.
Yep. And lo and behold, is right in front of Powell who's got a gun drawn on her.
Yep.
And that's how it ends. So a lot was going on here, a lot of powerful scenes. The Jessica Jones appearance, that definitely was a fan favorite moment.
Yeah.
She did touch upon her powers not working right after pregnancy.
They're on the fritz.
Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting twist to her character.
I like the one line. She's like, there's not exactly a manual for this thing.
Yeah. So definitely Ritter had that snarky charm that Jessica Jones displays a lot.
Yep.
So no update really about Luke Cage, even though I know some places online were alluding to that he works for Val, which...
Saw that. I'm like, where would you get that conclusion?
Yeah, I didn't get that. But if they wanted to stretch in the comics, Luke Cage did serve a tenure as leader of the Thunderbolts.
Sure.
Would they go back to that lineup? Doubtful.
Probably not.
But if they really wanted to do something fun there, they could have him lead... And they pair him with Bullseye and do Dark Avengers / Thunderbolts that way.
Could be.
That's a door they could open.
Could be.
But overall, like I say, I thought it was a strong episode. The performances from D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox were on point as always.
Yeah.
The only thing I think was like the drawback was the weird opening with the surgeon.
Yeah.
Heather Glenn's thing with Cash, like Cashman was kind of out of character too.
A little bit.
Like he was just, I don't know. I don't exactly understand where he was going with his stuff. And the Daniel Blake stuff, I want to say it felt a little forced. Like,
yeah.
But I understand they're trying to give him some screen time to buy it up. But now I'm fully convinced he's going to get killed by the end of the season.
Oh, more than likely.
Yeah, he ain't making it into season 3 or next season, whatever you want to call it. But I thought it really hit its key points. And now the question is is Karen Page going to get saved? Because I think that probably Powell's going to try shooting her to open up the next week's episode.
Yeah, and I think one of the other defenders is going to come in for the save.
See, I think Matt's the one who saves her, and that's what ultimately leads to him getting arrested.
Could be.
Because everybody's going to draw guns on him. And
I mean, I could see it.
Yeah, because I know they've alluded to, if you want to believe the quote-unquote photos, they're going to do Devil in Cell Block D, which you could do. I don't know how well that's going to go over, but, I mean, at this stage, it definitely could work. Like I said, that story could work. But the only thing is you have 2 episodes to pull it off, and then you're going to have to hope it hangs over to the next season.
Right.
But other than that, strong episode. My vote is definitely a must-watch, Pad.
Must-watch ASAP. Don't wait. I realize the season finale of Invincible came out today. Boys is hitting its stride, but do not wait on this episode to watch it. Do it right now.
Yeah, it's definitely the one that everybody's talking about, and we want to hear from you. So hit us up on the hashtag ODPH pod. What is your thoughts about Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2, Episode 6, entitled Requiem, currently on Disney+. Watch it. Let's talk about it. We're going to get a quick breakout. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder, and you better listen to the ODPH podcast, or I'm coming for you, and Batman is coming for you.
Coming back for the final segment on this edition of the ODPH podcast. Pad, what you got?
Got a couple things to talk about. A little bit of sports first, because taking place this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is the highly anticipated NFL draft taking place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right outside their stadium there for the Pittsburgh Steelers, whatever they're calling it these days. It's not Heinz Field, but it'd always be Heinz Field to me. Round 1 taking place Thursday, April 23rd, 8 o'clock Eastern. Rounds 2 and 3 on Friday, April 24th at 7 o'clock Eastern. And then rounds 4 through 7 are on Saturday, April 25th, starts at noon. They'll be on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and also the NFL Network. So definitely want to give that a check out, because there's some interesting things that could be taking place this weekend. Of course, first overall pick, I don't think it's going to surprise anybody. Probably going to go Fernando Mendoza unless something weird changes.
Yeah, I think that's about as safe as the lock as you're going to get, and then everything else is honestly up in the air. I think the one team you got to watch is the Giants.
Yeah.
With 2 number 1 picks in the top 10. That's going to be something. I don't know if they necessarily would make a monster trade up to get somebody, but
wouldn't surprise me though.
But it depends on who they want to get. That's the one thing with Jim Harbaugh, we don't know. Yeah. After that, I mean, it all depends on what everybody's team is looking for. I know Jerry Jones has been making some noise.
Yeah.
I know that we didn't talk about Dexter Lawrence getting traded to the Bengals on the 1-year deal. So, I mean, it's
crazy deal for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's been a lot going on with the NFL that, honestly, this year's draft class.
Yeah.
After Mendoza, it's like, who's the real breakout star?
Right.
And I think that's one thing that we have to put into real perspective here. So it will be interesting to watch to see how it plays out. But I think after Mendoza, it's a little more quiet of a draft this year.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's a bad class this year, because
there's not a lot of hype to it, though.
No, I mean, I think there's some very complimentary pieces that you can go for and pick up, because I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of players from Ohio State getting picked first.
Yeah.
Like I know one draft class, or one mock draft had 5 going and 3 through 8.
Holy smokes!
So they could, and you never know what team's going to pull off something crazy to move up or down.
Yeah.
We know, obviously, with the Giants, like I say, they're leading the pack about picks. I know Kansas City's trying to make some moves too. Yeah. Seeing them in the top 10, that's actually kind of wild.
Yeah.
Because it's been a while since they've been up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch. As I say, after the first picks or first round, then it's going to get interesting in those second and thirds, and then to see where your team is shaping up. So we'll definitely be talking about it on next week's show. But any predictions for your Patriots before we?
I'm hoping for some O-line help, obviously. Edge rusher wouldn't hurt as well. I know we're lacking one of those. As for wide receiver, well, if you read the rumors and you read the reports, that might be taken care of on June 2nd. So we'll see what happens there. But no, I think the primary one right now is definitely offensive line and the edge rusher. Right now is the 2 I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, the Bills are picking 26th. I know the name that everybody's talking about them is C.K. Concepcion from a wide receiver from Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's like, it's like when Keon Coleman was rumored to go with the Bills. Same kind of vibe.
Right.
Granted, I don't necessarily know how he's going to play here, but I think that there's a lot of different ways they could go.
Yeah.
So if they take him in the first round, I don't think it's going to be super crazy.
Right.
But then again, I'm going to even throw out a crazy leap. I don't doubt them doing some wild stuff to try getting Minnesota to trade Justin Jefferson.
Maybe.
Like I'm saying, they might overhaul the entire draft to go get him.
Could be.
So we'll have to wait and see, but that'll be taking place Thursday night.
Yeah.
So make sure to check ESPN on your local listings.
Then we got to talk a little bit of local minute because we are in the midst of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. That is the playoffs for the Federal Prospects Hockey League, where our local Binghamton Black Bears play. They're back-to-back defending champs. They're going for a three-peat. Shout out Michael Jordan. Right now they are they're about to start the semifinals. They beat the Topeka Scarecrows in the quarterfinals. In a best-of-3 series, they beat them 2-0. They are going into the semifinals against the Port Huron Prowlers. It's about, like I said, best-of-3 series. If they make it out here, they're into the finals, which is a best-of-5. Schedule is as follows. They've got a game on Thursday, April 23rd, at 7:05 p.m. Eastern, on the road in Port Huron playing the Prowlers. Then game 2 is Saturday, April 25th, 7 o'clock Eastern, here locally at the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. And then game 3, if necessary, is Sunday, April 26th, 5 o'clock Eastern at the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena. More tickets, information, all that good stuff, BinghamtonBlackBears.com. And we got to talk a little bit of minor league baseball because we are in the early swings. I won't say the midst, but we're in the early swings of the minor league baseball season. Binghamton Rumble Ponies, not doing so hot right now, but hey, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats currently in first place. They are the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate. They're 8-6. Tied with them in second place are the Reading Fightin' Phils, which if you couldn't tell, that's the Phillies affiliate. They are in second place with a record of 8-8. Portland Sea Dogs, they are the Boston Red Sox affiliate. They are also tied for second place with a record of 8-8. Right behind them are the Hartford Yard Goats. They're the Colorado Rockies affiliate. They are 7-9. Then you got our Binghamton Rumble Ponies, who are, of course, the New York Mets affiliate. They are 6-9, and then coming up right with them, tied for the second to last, is the Somerset Patriots, who are the New York Yankees affiliate. They are 6-9. Looking at their schedule from this past week, they had a little bit of a road series against the Akron Rubber Ducks. They lost their game on Tuesday by the final score of 8-7. Lost on Thursday by the final score of 3-0. Lost on Thursday 5-0. Came back on Friday though 1-4-1. Lost on Saturday 5-4. And then lost on Sunday 4-0. This week they are at home for a home series against the Erie Seawolves. They had a game yesterday as we record where they lost that one 3-2. They've got a game on Wednesday, April 22nd at 6:07 p.m. Eastern. This one is they got mental health awareness night. It says strike out the stigma. The Binghamton Rumble Ponies raise awareness for mental health at the ballpark. Various community organizations will be on hand to provide resources and educate fans on how they can help defeat mental health issues. Then you got Thursday, also at 6:07 p.m. Eastern. This one is Throwback Thursday, so they will be returning to the moniker of the Binghamton Mets, or the B-Mets. It'll be also, you can take advantage of 2-for-1 reserved grandstand ticket specials and $2 concession items, hot dogs, sodas, domestic drafts, and popcorn. It's also Greek Life Night, so it says, calling all fraternities and sororities. Join us for Greek Life Night featuring special pricing on group tickets, hot dogs, regular sodas, popcorn, and domestic draft beers. If your Greek Life organization is interested in being a part of this unique event, you can reach out to the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. And then you've got the game on Friday at 6:07 p.m. Eastern. It's another fireworks series night, so that'll be definitely something to check out. It's also Prehistoric Weekend. It says must run faster and get down to Marabito Stadium for Prehistoric Weekend, April 24th through 26th. Don't miss a weekend where we look to the past to celebrate fossils, dinosaurs, and much more. So you got Dinosaurs Arise appearance. It says experience the ultimate dinosaur adventure with Dinosaurs Arise at Marabito Stadium for 2 nights, April 24th and 25th. Meet lifelike dinosaurs, unearth fossils by digging into discovery, and even take a look at a 70-foot Brachiosaurus. You aren't going to want to miss this promotion. 50 million years in the making. It's also Masonic Night. The Binghamton Rumble Ponies are proud to hold Masonic Night at the ballpark. All Masonic organizations are invited to enjoy a night out at the ball game. So you got that going on. But definitely, if you got kids who are into dinosaurs, sounds like it is the perfect weekend for you to check out the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, because that's going on again on Saturday. As they alluded to, that game time is at 1 o'clock Eastern. It's also Dino Nugget Luau shirt giveaway. Holy cow, that looks awesome. It says, what is better than a prehistoric themed luau shirt? How about we add Dino Nuggets. That's right. The first 1,000 fans on April 25th will receive a Dino Nuggets luau shirt. Personal word of advice. Get there early if you're looking at getting that from personal experience. And then Sunday is at 1 o'clock Eastern. That is a family fun day. So kids 12 and under can get it in. And if you're a part of the Dick's Sporting Goods Kids Club, can get in for special pregame events taking place for the first hour. Gates are open. And then all fans 16 and over have the opportunity to take a walk around the warning track with the Home Instead Senior Stroll. It's also Prehistoric Weekend going on. It's STEM/STEAM Day. It says, step into the lab and get ready to experiment. Fans of all ages can explore hands-on activities, test cool science experiments, and discover the wonders of STEM, all while enjoying the ballgame. It's Senior Sundays, and then it's also pregame catch on the field. It says, pack your glove for every Sunday home game and play catch on the field before the game. All fans looking to play catch on the field can report to the left field gate by the tarp to gain access to the field. Please note, catch on the field is for the first 20 minutes. Gates are open, which personally, if they did this when I was a kid, I would have been there every single opportunity. Definitely something to check out. For more information and all that good stuff, bingrp.com. Then we got to talk some entertainment news.
Yes.
Holy smokes. The folks over at Warner Brothers in DC decided to drop a trailer today, which I did not know it's coming. Maybe you did. I didn't. But we got our first look official teaser trailer. Trailer is only 1 minute and 3 seconds, but it's for the upcoming horror film, Clayface, coming out in theaters October 23rd.
Yeah, so this one has been long rumored, and obviously it lived up to the hype with it.
Holy smokes.
To deal with the classic Batman Rogue. And this is very interesting. They're going to give him his own film. I think this is very high risk, high reward in this circumstance.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Clayface is not exactly a household villain like the Joker.
No.
I would not say, even like on the Penguin level, that's kind of tough. And we're talking a lot of CGI with this one.
Sure.
So to make it a horror film and especially put it into the DCU or Matt Reeves' universe, like I say, it's an interesting move.
Reeves is producing.
That's what I say. So it's Reeves that's doing this, correct?
Yeah.
It's kind of an odd call, I would say. But I'm not mad about it. Like to see Reeves doing, because he's kept very grounded characters.
Well, Reeves is producing. He's not directing. The director is a gentleman by the name of James Watkins.
Right, but it's connected in that universe.
Right.
So that's why I say it's a different story. So, but trailer looked good for what we saw. It's only about 1 minute long.
And we do know this movie and story is inspired by the origin story, I guess you could say, from Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like it's going to be a one-to-one adaptation, but at least it is inspired in part by some of what you see in those episodes.
And the lead actor is?
A gentleman by the name of Tom Rhys Harries, who you might know. He was in the television series for 10 episodes called White Lines. He was an actor in a short called Erdem X H&M. And then he was in the movie The Gentleman. And then he was also in a television series called Suspicion for a couple episodes. So it definitely sounds like an up-and-coming guy that might have done a couple things, but nothing super crazy.
Yeah, I think we'll hear a little bit more about this in San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Probably. Then we got to talk some other movie news. We got a final trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu, which of course is hitting theaters May 22nd. And it's about time we actually got something of substance for this movie.
Yeah.
Because it feels like we don't know what the hell is going on with this movie other than, hey, Mandalorian and Grogu are in it. I will say, though, looks good.
Looked very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is what we expected.
Yeah.
So with under a month left to see it come out in theaters, the swan song of The Mandalorian, it's gonna be something fun.
Yeah. And then I got to switch to some video game news because, well, it was kind of the worst kept secret going at this point because a couple months ago, trailer dropped for Project 1000. It was a Dragon Ball project. Nobody quite knew what it was, but we knew it was going to be a new video game. Nobody was quite sure what it was. And then you got an unintentional leak, and I say unintentional because I forget which Bandai Namco YouTube page it was. It was one of the official ones, but it wasn't the US one, and it wasn't the Japanese one. It was one of the other territories. Put the trailer into a playlist that was titled Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. And everyone went, oh, so it is going to be Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which for those of you who aren't familiar, Dragon Ball, of course, based off the anime, Xenoverse is a game where you create your own character for this video game and you travel through time trying to make sure the timeline for said universe stays the way it is. Things get crazy, things get wild. First game came out to much success. I remember going to pick it up when that came out, and it was almost impossible to find in town. And we had a lot more video game stores in our town back then. And then the second one came out to a lot of acclaim and success in October of 2016. Still getting DLC for that game, by the way. It's like 10 years later, and it's still getting DLC for it. It's absolutely insane. But rest easy, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, because in sometime in 2027, we didn't get a firm release date, just kind of a window like, hey, 2027, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is coming, and I cannot wait because I love the first two. Xenoverse 1, a lot of fun. Expounded on it very fantastically with 2. 2 got a lot better. I can't wait to see what they can do with the amount of time that has passed between 2 and 3 and the way the technology has gone with the gaming consoles. Because Xenoverse 2 came out, like I said, 2016. That was on the PS4 and the Xbox One. So we'll see what happens with this one, but I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, definitely very something to be amped up about.
Yeah.
Also, it's Wednesday, as you know, it's New Comic Book Day. But before we get into Pat's picks, a little late breaking news here from Marvel Comics and Godzilla.
Again?
So Godzilla and Marvel Comics are teaming up yet again for Godzilla Conquers the Multiverse.
Ooh.
So this is going to be something to kind of cap off the current run of Godzilla stories that are happening there, because we've had Infinity War, we've had Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. So Jerry Dugan and Javier Garron are reuniting for the explosive finale to the trilogy from the PR team over at Godzilla and Toho there. And reading from the Marvel press release, this is going to be released July 22nd, and the description for it is, quote, the culmination, or quote, an unholy alliance between Null and Godzilla conquers the Marvel Universe, and now Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, Kang, Emma Frost, Ghost Rider, and the Punisher, Man-Thing, and more stand on the edge of annihilation when Doomstat rips across dimensions to capture a kaiju capable of stopping the King of the Monsters. The teams collide with Mecha Fiends, multiversal kaiju, and a deadly Red Skull and adamantium armor.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So that's straight from the Marvel press release. My God, that sounds wild.
That sounds bonkers.
Yeah, so this is going to be something definitely fun to go check out when it drops in July. So,
yeah.
Pat, I know you're not the biggest Godzilla fan.
I like the movies, but I'm not super into, and I haven't seen any of the older stuff. But this sounds interesting. Godzilla, if we're talking multiverse, Godzilla versus the early 2000s original run of Ultimates, please.
I mean, anything is possible.
Listen,
so
give it to me.
Yes, like I say, so that came via Marvel and Godzilla Tohu's PR team. So definitely shout out to that. And like we alluded to, it's Wednesday. Pat, what are you picking up at the shops this week?
Picking up and recommending Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Echoes of the Empire, issue number 1. This is a 5-issue miniseries. Ethan Sachs is the author. You've got Jethro Morales is on the artwork for this. Phil Noto's on the cover art. It looks tremendous. But the description of this is, new secrets of Galaxy's Edge revealed. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Chewbacca head to Batuu in search of important intel and stumble upon a dangerous relic, one that puts them on a collision course with the Empire. Galaxy's Edge writer Ethan Sachs and artists Jethro Morales and Roy Mercado tell an all-new story inspired by Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Of course, Galaxy's Edge and Batuu is the name of the park in the various Disney parks around the world. So the look is definitely matching that. There's even a little nod to Star Tours in the issue if you pay attention and you catch it. Issue's a solid start. It leaves a little bit of room to be desired for where it could go, but hey, the ending is real interesting and should be fun to see where it goes from here. Next up is Captain America issue number 9 from Chip Zdarsky. Oh boy, this one is Doom Shadow Part 4. So of course, Dr. Doom dead. What is it? His home country, Latveria, shambles. Not very good right now. So this one reads, quote, a captain cornered on the road to Armageddon. After discovering how far Salvation's true Latveria insurgency is willing to go for power, Captain America goes rogue, throwing in with the Latverian liberators to take down Salvation before he can become the next Dr. Doom. But Salvation is prepared for Steve's next attack, and his new ploy has heartbreaking consequences for the team. This run is absolutely tremendous. If you are a fan of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, definitely gives a lot of vibes off of that movie. But this one, especially since it's going to lead into Armageddon, which is the big summer book that's going to be going on in Marvel, you're definitely going to want to read this before going into Armageddon. So definitely pick this up when you get the chance. Then you've got a new series, issue number 1. It's going to be a 5-issue series from Jordan Morris. You've also got Joe Kelly working on some of the writing of this. This is Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Versity, issue number 1. So this one is Learning to Crawl. Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, Silk, Arana, Spider-Boy, and Spider-Girl have one thing in common. They aren't ready. According to former Resolute Spider-Man, Norman Osborn. So he and Spider-Woman are going to train them to meet the next threat, the only way the Green Goblin knows how, because the next threat might well be the Green Goblin. So this one, super interesting concept. You come off the heels of the last story, not the Death Spiral story, but the one before that, where you had the Spider family teaming up trying to help Norman. Didn't go well. They didn't lose. They didn't exactly win with a stellar record there, but they all came to the conclusion, hey, we need a little bit of work. We need a little bit of training. Should we go to Peter? No, let's go to Norman Osborn. Yeah. Which, that can't ever end well. I maintain, he's got a good face on this. I'm not convinced that it's entirely truthful. I'm still convinced he's on in his goblin ways. We shall see. I'm going to beat that drum until it's, it's a hole in the ground. But no, it's a super interesting first concept. We'll see where this goes. It's got some potential, though. I highly recommend reading Amazing Spider-Man that came out this week before this one. There's a piece in this that if you read this before Amazing Spider-Man, you'll be a little confused. Like, wait, what's going on? So read Amazing Spider-Man before this one, but this one, super interesting.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things happen in that one.
And then, like I mentioned, Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 27 from Joe Kelly. This one is part 9 of 9, so it's the final part of the Death Spiral story. Says, Death Spiral conclusion. Torment will get away with murder unless Spider-Man does the unthinkable. So this one, of course, they've been chasing Torment all over Manhattan between Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage. Torment is on the run. Torment has the symbiote with the Carnage symbiote, which, yeah, that ain't good. This one, you've got Aunt May and Anna Mae Watson in the proverbial crosshairs of Torment. So, yikes, that can't be good. The way this one ends, though, you're gonna have a lot of questions. I'll tell you off air what it is, but there's gotta be a lot of questions for a certain red-haired love interest in Peter Parker's life when this and this is all gonna come to a head at some point, I feel, but. We shall see where this goes, and also leaves things real interesting with certain other folks in this. So a lot of interesting questions coming out of this with all parties involved. Should be interesting, though.
This is the greatest Spider-Man event in the past 20 years because they killed Paul.
There is a mention of Paul's death in this.
No, it's top 5. Top 5.
I'll say this because this isn't a spoiler, because he died a couple issues back in Venom. There is an obituary. There is a panel with the obituary in the paper for Paul's death in this issue. So I know you're going to get that framed.
Yeah, hopefully somebody uses a coaster. So my picks, listen, I'll be short and sweet because there's over 30 picks right now on fanlightzone.com. So if you really want to get the whole nitty gritty, go right there. Go check out everybody's articles. The hardest working team in comics reviews, bar none. I'm just going to say Marvel and DC, Spider-Man, Superman. Ooh. This was oversized, but it was well worth the price of admission. I thought this was a much stronger overall issue than the one from DC.
Nice.
Not to say I didn't like the one from DC, but I really thought this one nailed it. Brad Meltzer and Pepe Larraz gave a classic Spider-Man story in that one. So there was a lot of really cool moments in this. The only drawback I would say is the sub-stories were very short. Like, we're only talking a handful of pages.
Interesting.
So which is not a spoiler, but I thought they were very good. There was one that really surprised me. So if anyone wants to hit me up on the social medias, we can discuss about it. But I thought that was the biggest bang for my buck this week. I really enjoyed it. And there's a lot of classic moments there. On the DC side of things. Yeah, heavy Absolute week. Obviously, Absolute Wonder Woman, one of the best books on this shop. Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman doing amazing work there. And Tom Taylor's mystery involving Green Arrow and Black Canary is heating up. So, with Pete Woods on the art and Detective Comics 1108. I think a lot of people are sleeping on that series, which is a shame. And one of the wilder stories of the week, Superman 37, Joshua Williamson, Dan Mora. Superboy Prime is now the guardian of Metropolis. We have all established that. That's not a spoiler at this stage.
Nope.
However, CK, as they're calling him, is not exactly handling the public opinion of not liking him too much.
Call him CK all you want. I'm not calling him that.
Yeah. So he goes and finds a unique voice to kind of give him some PR advice.
Okay.
Hijinks ensue.
Okay.
And it goes from there. I love what Williams is doing because you can tell he's hamming it up in the art, in the writing for this. I mean, and Dan Morris, like, what else could you want? But it's definitely a cool book to go check out. I think if you haven't picked it up, you definitely need to. And if you want more recommendations, fanlinezone.com is the place you got to go. Over 30 reviews on the site. Nobody is coming close on what we're doing. So you want to catch the Marvel, DC, and the indies. If we're talking comics, you're talking Fanlight Zone. So make sure to go check that out after you are done with this episode, because that's all we got for this week. So for the one only Padawan J.
Fuck the Astros.
I'm your host, Ken M. Thank you as always for listening to the ODPH podcast. We'll see you next time.
It's such waste of time, swiping left and swiping right on people you could know. Cause anyone who's worth a damn be worth way more than a picture could ever show. You could find the right light, find the right angle, and never find your soul. And it can feel like a losing battle, and this plot is full of holes. This modern way of finding love just makes me feel so alone. And I can't be the only one sick of staring at my phone. So look up, talk to me, a better way to spend our energy. Just look up, talk to me. We don't have to float alone on the open sea. Don't know that I believe in the old time fable. Everyone has just one true love. All I know is you're across this table, and you're all I'm thinking of. So look up, talk to me, a better way to spend our energy. Just look up, talk to me. We don't have to float alone on the open sea. Talk to me. Talk to me. It's such waste of time, swiping left and swiping right on people you could know.